Welcome to the Elevate Hair Show. I'm your host, Tatum Neal. We've got a special episode tonight. Our good friend Alan Ruiz is in town, and we're talking about a new collection that's out in Modern Salon Magazine, actually cover of Modern Salon Magazine. And we've got a special double tap with our friend Renée Gadar. She's our content contributor for Elevate Texture, and we've got a ton of great stuff we've been featuring on the page that we're going to review for you tonight. Today on Hair Now, I thought it'd be fun to spotlight a recent Modern Salon cover that we worked with our good friend Alan Ruiz. Let's get that cover on so they can see it. Beautiful, beautiful work. I thought, why not? Let's get Alan on here, the creative director of this production, and talk all about it. Alan Ruiz, welcome to Elevate Hair Show. How are you, man?
Hey guys, I'm doing really well.
Thank you so much for being on. This pretty exciting stuff. Now, I know we were together when we shot all this in the summer. We released it this spring and took off like wildfire. And Modern Salon put it on the cover. And so why not talk about it? It's kind of closing out the end of 2021 with this image and this collection. So this was our cover, obviously. Let's get into the nitty gritty. This was sort of designed to be a book. And so we're going to show you the individual images from this book. And we're going to start with the lead image, which is next. Go ahead, bring that up. Perfect. So, Alan, Alan and I worked together on sort of putting this all together and packaging together, and he was very, he had worked with this model before and was very keen on bringing her in for this. Talk to me about this model, this look, and why you felt like this is the cover of the book. What is it about this photo?
Yeah, I think that when we put this whole collection together, we wanted to include hair, makeup, so styling, color, cutting, makeup. And we really wanted to have something that was predominantly a makeup shot. And this girl's just a beautiful face for a cover. And we wanted to shoot a cover shot, and this was going to be it. So really highlighting the makeup, highlighting the story, making sure that we got to talk a little bit about who this girl was. And as you can see in this picture, she's a bit of a traveler, wanderer. She's got sort of this do-it-herself kind of fringe on her. Just a beautiful, I think, person to put on the cover of this collection.
I couldn't agree more. And let's talk about this DIY kind of feel and it kind of, I think it kind of ties into the sort of story of the whole collection. And what is that link between the DIY bang or fringe and the collection in general?
Yeah, I think that one of the things is this was really coming out of the pandemic. I think we shot this in May this year. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. And so when we shot that, it seems like forever ago.
Yeah.
So when we shot it, we were just coming out of the pandemic, and there was a lot of just like introspective thinking. And I think when it happened during the pandemic, I think people sitting at home a lot, wondering what to do with their hair, how to fix it, what to do. And I think that this girl, she was one of those people. She was one of the persons that was like, I'm going to do my own fringe. This is what I want to see have happen. And then, along the ways, coming out of the pandemic, she was like set free to travel and do and be and go and wonder all about. And I think so much is like, there was so much of like getting out, but there was so much of introspectiveness that was happening. So you've been locked up forever, but then when you get out, you still have to touch base with who you are and what you've discovered about yourself during that pandemic. And I think that's who this girl was. So as you see throughout the collection, you're going to kind of see who that girl is and how she comes about.
I love it. Let's go to the next photo.
This is one of my favorite shots. Yeah, this is one of my favorite shots. And part of it is these trinkets. So as I said, she's moving out and about. And what used to be something that was not, didn't mean that much at first, but all of a sudden, things become a little bit more precious when you realize, we're in a global pandemic, and then you're sort of trying to figure out what is precious to you. So maybe a lucky rabbit's foot is now really lucky and really precious to you. A little jewel, a little thing you collect along the ways. And I think they all become precious little items.
Let's go to the next shot. These were all great. This was the cover and beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about the color here. And I also want to take a second to sort of have you mention that this was a little bit more than just a shoot that you did. So let's spotlight the artist on here for this color, if you recall, and then what was the big picture for this beyond just doing a photo shoot?
Well, let's back up a sec. So, really, one of the things when we met, I met with you guys earlier this year, yeah, God, it's so crazy, earlier this year, and we started talking about the idea of doing this shoot. And part of the idea was basically finding talent throughout the network and beyond to put together a collection so that we can have images in the salon and we get to highlight artists as well. So this is how we sort of created that. So first we put together a team of people, which we met with via Zoom, via Skype, and then did a lot of interacting between Instagram, direct messaging each other, inspiration. So basically, as the creative director, putting out an overall theme, and then basically keeping everybody wrangled into that theme and making sure that they all felt that their ideas and opinions were important and that we're going to be able to put collectively something together special. And that's really what we did. So we'll talk a little bit about the artists, and I'll let you talk about that, Tatum, maybe.
Yeah. So let's bring this. So we had a collection, and I have a list at the end of all the artists. We're going to get to everyone. So, but Michelle Bowden, Gregory Valdez, Caitlin Valderrama, that was your color team. And let's go to the next picture too, just to kind of keep it moving. We also had on styling Angel Johnson, Courtney Bradbury. Our photographer was Wendy Hope. Pulling all this together, it's kind of a little mental. You know, if you think about it, as an artist, it's very easy to sort of become, I don't want to say entirely myopic, but you have a vision. It's hard to articulate that to someone else. You felt very driven to bring people in to sort of communicate a shared vision under your direction. What was it that provoked you to sort of reach out and try to create a team experience as opposed to the numerous shoots you had done before on your own?
Well, I think that's what you said is that, I've done numerous shoots on my own. And I think that, what I've also done is I've done team shoots with my team here in Austin, Texas. And I think that, it's so nice to see the talents of other people and then to pull it out of them too. Sometimes you don't realize what you have in you until somebody's telling you, hey, listen, let's push it a little bit further. Let's go a little bit harder. Cut this shorter, do this. And you're like, okay. And then you do, and you're like, wow, that was amazing. And I think sometimes what translates behind the chair and what translates in front of the camera are so different. And you have to, if you haven't had the experience of working behind the camera enough, then you don't see it. So somebody else needs to push you to that. And then you see, okay, wow, you made that come to life. Wow, that I wouldn't have gone there. And I think that's really what it was. And, so this particular look, we were with Angel, and Angel's last name escapes me.
Johnson.
But she's, what is it? I'm sorry?
Angel Johnson.
Angel Johnson out of Atlanta, and
yes.
she was just great to work with. I mean, I'd give her an idea and I'd say something like this, and not just would she say, she would do it, but she'd take it another step further. So it was nice to see that she was really open to a direction and then actually, adding her own twist on it. So every time you do that, it really pushes somebody, and I think that that's what's great about seeing, working with artists is to push them so that they don't see that they have what's in them until they actually produce it.
Yeah, she totally crushed it, and that silhouette is not photoshopped. I mean, she executed that brilliantly, and the shape of it is stunning, and it's definitely one of my favorite photos. Let's go to another one. And Al and I sat and worked, I don't know, I feel like all night long, sort of selecting through Wendy's photos. There's literally thousands of photos to find the right ones. Here's another color story. Beautiful blonde.
And that was a tag team. That was actually an effort of three different people. I think somebody did like the balayage, somebody did the roots, somebody did. I mean, it was like all three colors literally collectively tag team and did this haircut, hair color.
Hairstyle, yeah. And the cutters on this collection was Colton Jones, who works with our Jumpstart program and is awesome in her own right. Next photo. This one was one of my favorites, like sort of shaggy look, but there was a little bit sort of a nomadic kind of story here. I think Courtney did some braidings. Do you remember what the story was with this image and what we were trying to convey?
Yeah, so in the haircut, what you don't see is that Colton left these so she wanted a really sort of a different take on the shag. So she wanted the layers, but she had some really like panels that were like not untouched of great hair. So they took those panels and just braided them up and spread them out just to give it a different look and like you said, a nomadic feel.
Yeah, it's great. And let's go to the next shot. More color. This is our redhead straight.
which is our color story. Yeah, the
Right.
cover story of Modern
And it looks
Forge.
phenomenal straight too. I love it as well. Next photo, please. Yes. This,
Yeah, and this is this.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you talk about it. I love it. I love the architecture of the style. I do like the contrast and the juxtaposition of the fashion. I brought on our friend Kelsey Randall to do fashion for us, and it was the first time I think Alan had worked with her. She does a lot of fashion styling for the music industry and doing a big, she's worked with. I'm drawing a blank. Lord. She's worked with.
Lil Nas.
Lil Nas X, yeah, the hat with the astrological hat, Lizzo, a bunch of artists, but she was in this rock, kind of more of a rock world, but she's so malleable, and you two worked great together. I love the
She was
juxtaposition
so
of
good.
fashion. Yeah, this is
Yeah, she was such a
gorgeous.
great addition to the team. I mean, it's one of the things that, hair is one thing, but then the wardrobe really brings everything to life and helps tell the story. And she was all about it. She's like, let's do it. She was bringing the story to life. Everything that, like, in terms of my creative direction, she just added to the story and kept adding. And that's what the artist did. And that's what the makeup artist did. That's the colorist did. And that's when you know you've got a great team.
Yeah, I'm going to spotlight the makeup artists right now. Lauren Turner and Sasha Earhart did a great job with makeup. Let's go to the next photo.
And speaking of makeup, yeah,
Yes.
it's gorgeous.
Can you,
Simple,
would you mind
beautiful.
telling us, giving us a little peek behind the curtain? How did you execute this shot?
The swinging braids.
Yes.
Well, what you don't see is there's these two little fishing line cords attached to the end of the braids, and you're basically just moving them like this outside of the frame. And yeah, just got to wait for the right moment, and it happened. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool. This took a minute to get, I promise you, but it was worth it. Next shot, please. My favorite. Now
Gorgeous.
this is also being utilized for Neil's Next Fest show that's coming up in the spring, and you're going to sort of refeature this collection at Next Fest. What's it been like, just honestly, like working with Neil and as a partner, and sort of the creative sort of opportunities we've been trying to create for our network?
It's been great. The thing is, I love so much is that you guys are so open to it, and you're like, sure, let's do it. Let's try it. Sure, why not? And so, of course, as a creative, I'm going to push that as far as I can. So I'm gonna be like, let's keep on doing this. And have you thought about this? And what about this? So it makes it really fun to just to play around. And that's really what it is playing. And some of it, I think we're going to get, smack on the head, and some of it we may make a miss. But it's the beauty of creativity and getting to try something.
Yeah, it's
And so I'm
great. And
looking forward to presenting this collection at Next Fest. And I think that we'll have some of the artists that were on set with us there, actually, in some of the models. And hopefully you'll get to really see, it come to life.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's March 6th in Houston and April 10th in April, Next Fest, presented by Neil. And we'll follow that up with an Elevate Hair too. So it's going to be a full day event. You guys want to not only mark your calendars, but as soon as tickets drops, you want to go ahead and get those because they will sell out. Next
Yeah,
photo.
and speaking of Elevate,
Yeah,
though, hopefully, once when we're there, we'll be able to also be, scouting talent for the next Neil shoot. And one of the things
yeah,
is that we're really looking for the next new, or not even, it doesn't have to be the next new. It could be just, untapped, resources, but we want to be able to see who's out there, who could do what we want, who could do the work, and be great to work with and great to highlight. And as
yeah.
well as what salons they work at and what salons we highlight as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So Next Fest, we're going to have some headliners like Alan and some others, Renee Gadar, Ricardo Denise. But we're also going to have a local segment built into the show too, so that anyone who wants to have an opportunity to sort of express themselves will have a platform at Next Fest, and then we'll have even more platform at Elevate Hair in the evening. So part of Elevate Hair's mission, part of Neil's mission, is to create platforms for artists to express themselves. This also shows up in this photo shoot too. So part of what we're trying to create is an opportunity for you guys to not only do live stuff, but what is it like to be behind the scenes and do a photo shoot? And honestly, I learned so much from you, Alan, on this shoot. Just curating an image for the hairdresser and the consumer. Now, this image is a little bit more of a hairdresser image, I would say. What does that mean to you? What makes something the viewer, how do you design something for a hairdresser versus a client, a guest who's walking into a salon?
I think for me, when I look at images, it has to be beautiful. It has to be something, even if it's green hair, pink hair, any of those fashion colors. First, create the beauty in the model, create the beauty in the shape and the style and the fashion, where a guest would look at it and go, I could see myself with green hair. And they would never be the type to ever have green hair. But the flip side is that you've got to inspire the hairdresser at the same time, not turn off the consumer. And that's typically where I like to live in that area. I want to make sure that the hairdresser is inspired, but at the same time, that doesn't scare the consumer away.
Yeah,
Does that answer that question?
Yeah, no, totally. It was really enlightening. It's very subtle differences. Let's go to the next photo. This one was great. This model turned out to be great, and another Angel Johnson creation here.
Gorgeous. I love the texture. Wanted to make sure that we really featured some really texture, not just, curly hair, but coarse texture gone right. Coarse texture, how do you manipulate it and make it work?
Yeah, and the styling, Kelsey, with the little bit of flair on the one earring, it's really great.
So good.
Next photo, please. Rounding the turn here. This was Paige, just a gorgeous model out of Mississippi. I think this just says beautiful hair. I mean, this is a consumer shot. Would you?
100% consumer. It's a color shot though, so really, it's basically how do you make a story with browns? It's like sometimes brown hair is just brown hair, but when they put this color and they put these caramelized highlights in the hair and ombre'd it out, and I mean, I'm maybe not using the right word, ombre, because so sorry, colorists. But whatever they did, they made it look really good. And I wanted to make sure that we spread out the color and make sure that we told a great brunette story. And I think that what's really turning into this fall winter and is you're seeing more brunette and less blonde. And so it's a nice way to be able to tackle into that.
Yeah, beautiful. Let's go to our next slide, please. And this was sort of, again, this was like a book, right? And so we start off with the face with the sort of DIY fringe, and now we're to the back of the head. Talk to me about, I obviously I get the imagery here of this is literally the back of the head at the back of the book. Talk to me about the trinkets and what that meant to you and why that was a feature in not only this shot, but another one as well.
I think it was just, once again, this girl was a traveler. She was spirited, she was grounded, but at the same time, she wanted to be out and about because we've been, locked up for so long. And this is the little things that she's captured along her journey. And, what was really great about this shot was literally, it was a hot minute. We did one shot, said, great, take this girl, create a braid. And there was literally 6 people putting those little trinkets on the head just to get that one shot. But it was just an idea, and it may work or may not have worked. And luckily it worked. It was great. And this was actually, the braid was done by one of the colorists. Not
Caitlin
Michelle. Caitlin, thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, just great. Let's go ahead and bring up all the credits because there were a lot of people who did this production. And I have this on my monitor, but it's a little too small for me, so I'm just going to go through it. Alan Ruiz, creative director, Michelle Bowden, Gregory Valdez, Caitlin Valderrama, color team, Angel Johnson and Courtney Bradbury in styling, Wendy Hope, our photographer, Oscar Cruz, who was a photographer assistant, Chris Monberg, Frank DeMarco, photography techs, George, videographer, Jorge, sorry. And Jorge did an amazing video for us, and it's on Neil's social. Neil Productions, which was the educational video, which we are still working on. It was a big production. All the looks are going to be up soon. Lauren Turner, Sasha Earhart makeup, Colton Jones cut, Kelsey Randall, our wardrobe stylist, Mary Catherine Leslie, our behind the scenes photographer, designer, Samantha Miker, also designer, writer behind the scenes. And they put together the book. It's gorgeous. Stephanie Roldan, production coordinator, Jenny Dion and Garrison Neal, production support, and then I think I was there just to not have a panic attack. I think that was my whole vibe. And then we called this Modern Mystic, which I thought was really a clever thing. Can we go back to the cover if it's not too much? This is great here. Modern Mystic, let's sum up this conversation with just Modern Mystic, sum it up for our audience. What does that mean? And what does Modern Mystic look like in 2022?
2022, I think it's still the same thing. I think it's about curiosity, being curious about what's out there. I think that we're still trying to figure out, weave our way through the end of this pandemic. And I think that, it's I know more and more people are traveling and at the same time traveling carefully. And so I think they also think that this may be the last time I travel, meaning that not that like last time I'll never get to travel again, but for a while maybe it changes or it doesn't change. Maybe this is just the new norm. And so really when you go wherever you are going, it's really special and what you bring back and honor and then everything that you have sort of memories and trinkets of all those things and places you've been. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, and it was very sort of, a lot of the things we did, and you sort of thought of, in spring of last year leading up to it, the background, the concept, the coloration, all that stuff. It was funny seeing that really play out later in other shoots and collections, and I got to tip my hat to you. You really were predictive in the design and aesthetic that's still sort of showing up today, and obviously the imagery is still relevant today because it was just featured on the cover of Modern Salon for December of 2021. So great collection. It was a pleasure working with you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Houston March 6th for Next Fest and April 10th in Nashville. I hope you have a great holiday, a great New Year, and a great
I will. Happy
2022.
holidays to everybody and look forward to seeing you guys.
Awesome. Great. Alan, thank you so much for taking time today. Send my love to Heath. I'll see you later.
All right, bye guys.
Bye. All right, it's time for Double Tap, where we take all the best content from Instagram, put it on a TV show, then we put it back on Instagram. Got a special guest today, our content creator, our content contributor for Elevate Texture, Miss Renée Gadar. Hello, Renee.
Hi, Tat.
How's
I
it
don't know if
going?
Oh, yeah. I'm Tatum. Hi, Tatum.
Well, now the whole world will call me Tats. Thanks, appreciate that. Uh, as I said, Renee's our content contributor for Elevate Texture, which means that we're constantly DMing each other photos, and a lot of the best ones end up on Elevate Hair. And so I just wanted to spotlight some of the content we've shared over the past year that we thought was worthwhile of featuring on Double Tap. So I'm going to have to start off with Beauty by BB. Why? Because she's got this sweet mullet. Now, Renee, you know how I feel about mullets. How do you feel about them?
Well, my son had a mullet for a solid 3 years of his life, which means I love them very much. I particularly love them on textured hair. A lot of the times I see them on like straight hair or whatever, but I particularly love them on textured hair. I liked this image right there because it was like it was bumped in a way that felt very like 90s to me. But the image still looks very modern. It's
Yeah.
just I dug it a lot.
Yeah, totally everything you said. The LA makeup definitely makes it feel like modern. So I wanted to bring up this one because this one is like serious. You live in New York. Are you seeing more girls wear mullets?
Yes. Yeah. So it's funny because the wig world has really figured out how to make short wigs look
Uh-huh.
really good. And I know when Rihanna cut her mullet, well, then it went black crazy. Everybody wanted a mullet. And so anybody can get one now, right? Because you could take it off at night and put it up and put it right back on tomorrow morning. And I don't know. I think what do they call these mullets? The Mississippi mullet when it's like really long in the back.
Tennessee waterfall, I believe.
How what that's called?
I think
Well,
it's a Tennessee waterfall, and I feel guilty for not knowing and a little ashamed, but I'm 90% sure that's what it's called. But Mississippi mullet, that's basically the same thing. And look, for full disclosure, I live in New Orleans, so I'm a Louisiana boy, so I feel like I can take a jab at Mississippi or Tennessee, and it's okay. Let's get more into it. This one was just
I'm
stunning.
stunning. I'm always here for like white hair on really dark skin. I live for that.
Just gorgeous.
Always attracted to
Um,
that.
let's see what else I'm just gonna try to go through these. Just some beautiful makeup as well. This one did really well for us. I don't
I
know
mean,
if it was. I don't know
it's
why
beautiful.
in particular. Yeah, it's beautiful,
It's
right?
yeah, but it's also a really sharp bowl cut.
Yes. And the
Yeah, I
shine
mean,
line, if you guys can see that shine line, is just really
is like
strong.
epic.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very.
that's gorgeous. Uh, Timothy, Timothy Ward. Let's see. Let's move down here.
The
Beautiful.
boys have been coloring their hair out in the streets, so
Have they?
that's yeah. I mean, everywhere.
Gorgeous, gorgeous work. This one was pretty dope.
Yeah, I've watched this video probably like 7 times. I just
Did
thought
you?
Yeah, I was just like, there isn't a lot about this that was like regal. It's like denim, but and like the hair is not like a slick back bun or anything like that. But it all felt like her natural and regal still. And I thought it was hella sexy. This.
It's gorgeous. I love the shape. She's loving the little session there. Here's another mullet for you.
Yeah, that's the. I did a wig similar to this for a shoot that I did like 4 years ago.
Did you? This is really cool. I love that. Did you do the little color stuff?
No, no. Like I said before, it's just like white hair on dark skin, like just in wig form because I want everybody to take care of their textures underneath there. But you know what I'm saying?
Right. You're not cutting a mullet on your hair right now. No.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
This like a finger wave technique here? I can't. It reminds me of it, but it's not.
No, that's a finger wave.
This is a finger wave.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I
love it.
It's set on a wig, so it doesn't look the same as it would be like on real hair.
Yeah, I love the juxtaposition of sort of texture here too. You've got the nice sleek, and then you go into the more kind of like roughed up, lived in texture. And now that I'm saying that, it kind of reminds me of this one, which we featured, which is just two juxtapositions of natural and straight.
Yeah.
When you see this, what does it say to you?
I don't know. I guess like I thought of like the revolution of the 70s and the relaxing of the 90s coming together, and it kind of felt like the journey of Black women. I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely see that sort of. So this one is from a friend of ours. This is from a collection. Naomi Dove did this with Robert Grimes and Hege Gonzalez, and I got to see this show live. This was from Aveda's Congress show, which isn't the political Congress. It's just like a hair show they call Congress. It's been going on for decades, and this particular model of all of them really stood out to me. She just looked so powerful. And I love the crop on this. Did you get to play a role in this? And just tell me about this photo, at least what you know of it.
No, I mean, just this is all Naomi, and Hege took part in like making the wardrobe, the earrings. I forgot who did makeup for them. But Naomi, my girl, I call her Cuzzo. So Cuzzo did the hair. She made the piece for this model, and then she colored it, and it turned out to these really stunning images because the model is also very like she takes up a lot of space in a room. She's just like a big personality. She's strong.
Yeah, it came through. Makeup was Karina Jasmine, Bradley 03, and Anna Scubis.
I did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do work because we were talking about that show. This was part of your presentation.
Yeah. Yo, Melisha is a beast, and she unfortunately couldn't come because of COVID to the Congress show. But she's stunning. Like cheekbones and like face structure, and she's like 6'1". I mean, she's just stunning somebody. And so I did Bantu knots on her natural hair. And I think what impressed those around me is how short her hair looked and how I was able to get it into those knots.
Yeah. It is impressive. It's gorgeous. I love the coloration, how it fits with the wardrobe and the makeup too. Assuming it was Janelle did the makeup.
Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful work. All right, I want to talk about this one because this was from like a mocha. I think it was a mochaccino. I sound like a fashion novice. This was from a fashion show. I can't remember the name. And we featured it, and it just blew up. I mean, it's one of our top posts of 2021. It's in our top 30. I think it's the pink and the pink. And then this one also did pretty well for us too. And so I'm seeing more beads in sort of shoots, and maybe it's just like the algorithm showing to me, but are beads and braids having a moment right now?
Yeah, we call them braids and beads. So a lot of little Black girls spent much of their childhood in braids and beads. until our moms let us relax our hair at some point. Hopefully that's going away, the relaxing the hair part. But as women are coming back to their natural hair and exploring different ways to express themselves, I mean, the what I love about natural hair is its versatility. How you could blow it straight if you want, you could have a silk press, you could wear it in braids, and I think just a lot of us remember beads from back in the day, and we're just exploring that. And I don't know if it's just an algorithm. I think it's pretty popular. I think beads are just coming back pretty strong, and I think it's gonna, like, you'll see a whole bunch of it this summer.
That's cool. You know, and Renee lives in New York, and so she is like, you are seeing in real time what's happening with fashion and trends. So I love getting your sort of your New Yorker perspective. It's really it's great. It's fresh. This I thought was beautiful. Makeup, model, hair. It's obviously natural. Talk to me about this sort of parting here. And is this a trend? Is this something that's more editorial? Are you seeing more of this?
No, I think this is editorial. I can't imagine somebody with her hair texture coming out into the street and like presenting this particular look on a day-to-day basis. But again, like textured hair that just grows up to the sky, you can really form and mold it into anything. You know, that's why a lot of stylists like would crimp hair with that small, tiny crimper to get it to like be bigger and craft something out of it. And, you know, her hair does that naturally. And I just think that it's dope that they just worked with her natural texture to create those shapes on the outside.
I couldn't agree more. Speaking of natural texture, this thing, wow, this thing blew up.
I mean, I mean, it's like a precision haircut on texture. And I think, you know, a lot of the times when we're talking about curly cuts and stuff, everybody's like freeform cutting and cutting dry and doing all of these things. And it's just really satisfying to see like something so sharp and so clean on texture. It's pretty.
Yeah, love it. Model seems to be enjoying it as well. Let's do some more editorial stuff. This one did not do well for us. And, you know, sometimes black and white photos don't really pop off for some reason. I don't really care. This is, this photo just really beautiful. The model's emotion is great, and I love this like 60s aesthetic with the hair, right? I mean,
it's just so beautiful. I just think that's what I think of when I see it. I just think, oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. So much mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a great photo. And I feel like black and whites really do that. And for some reason, the gram doesn't give it as much love. I don't know why. Speaking of retro
and color. So this is what, like, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of boys are just growing the top back out, but not necessarily like picking it out and wearing it as a high top. I think that they're exploring their textures and doing different things to it to like define their texture, but they're also coloring it a lot and exploring with color. I think that's all really dope, you know? Also, like, I am a sucker for a high top. I love a high top any day, anytime.
I think you and I have an affinity for the 90s, maybe, for some reason. It's the millennial in us, right? I want to talk about this model real quick. Is it Nyan? What is her? I can't figure out her name, but she's massive influencer. You've seen her in other things. She has a whole wig company too, but this we featured for a Mullet Monday, and it's now one of our top 30 of 2021. But to your point, we're seeing more mullet wigs on the streets today, and this is one of them.
Yeah, because like you can play and just keep your hair underneath, and I mean, it's like cosplay for the everyday.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
I'll have to put cosplay on the thing in YouTube in the description to try to pick up some more activity here. I just saw this one the other day, and I was like, blown away. So pretty.
Yeah.
Model's gorgeous too, but
I feel like locks are another one of those things that are becoming very popular. It's just, locks are like all over my feed. Just everywhere. And then on salons around here, I just like, so I live in Harlem. So there's a lot of like black barbershops, salons, and everyone's starting to post like lock specialists in their window, which means more and more people are going in to ask for it. So I think the lock game is getting big. It's blowing back up. And
this particular style of lock is sort of different than kind of like what I think of as like a traditional dreadlock, what I might see like a Rastafarian wear, right? What is this type of technique? Can you explain it to us?
This is a faux lock. So this isn't her hair locked, actually locked. And like locticians are for real, and they really, it is a specialty. And if you do have locks, I recommend you go to a loctician. Everybody should be able to touch you up, but if you really want to cleanse, it's like a lot of times soaking in a bowl, and they have the whole setup to really care for your locks. But these are faux locks, which again, this is just like cosplay for the day to day. You can have locks in a day's time.
Yeah.
Just do your locks yourself. So that's why it looks different than how it does on natural hair, because
Got
it's
it.
not.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Couple more here.
White hair on dark skin.
Yeah, I'm like picking that up. I get the vibe, and I see it too. I love the contrast and juxtaposition. This one,
Also, that technique is dope though.
say that
The one
again.
on the braid technique is really
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Talk to me about
Just
that.
how it's cornrows at the top, and then it just releases into that texture. I mean, that's fire. That's just a way to reduce the volume on the top and just have all of this volume and length and texture down at the bottom. I mean, it's a really pretty hairstyle that
Yeah.
yielded a pretty. Yeah.
Thank you for the extra insight here. Some more editorial stuff. You sent us this. I love this. And then we also have this, which is a Japanese artist, which is like a little bit more.
So I think the term for this is like bubble braids.
Okay.
And so obviously these are more editorial, right? Like maybe
Right.
you're not in the street or you're going to Afro punk with something like this, but
Right.
like where you do see it is like you know how they're leaving, because the 90s are back in full force.
Yes.
So remember in the 90s we had these like two pieces that we left out right here. I've been
Yes.
seeing people do the bubble braids in the two front pieces.
Ah, that's cool.
There is a more like day-to-day version of this.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, and so this is, I think, our last photo. Was this the hair of the model that did this for you? Because you like this one as well.
Yeah, I think it's all of it. I like her face. I like how the makeup looks like oil on her face with everything else, and then her hair just looks really slick too, because it's just like a straight wig, and it's short. I just like I think wigs. I'm easily impressed by wigs because of how far they've come. Like they're not as bulky as they once were, or as easily identifiable as like a wig as they once were. And so I'm just really impressed with how you can get something so tight to the face or cropped, So I'm attracted to all of it.
It's exciting. I feel like it's an exciting time for hair in general, and definitely I see, just as curating content, tons of beautiful wigs and things that to your point, I kind of thought wasn't possible. So okay, that wraps up this segment of Double Tap. But wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was just like why I like wigs so much is like, especially because of how good they've become. It's just like you really can take the time to protect your own hair underneath and really play. If you're the kind of person that gets bored all the time, you don't have to do anything to your natural hair. You can leave your natural hair alone and let it be its healthiest, best self, and just really play with wigs. I think it's good for the health of hair situation.
Yeah, I think it's also great just for self-expression too, and getting to be who you want to be in that moment. And I mean, growing up dreadlocks, for example, your faux locks, like that takes a minute. So like, and you can just have that and express yourself how you feel. I think that's wonderful. I did mention Naomi earlier, and I forgot to say that you two will be live on stage at Next Fest, March 6th in Houston and April 10th in Nashville. So what's that?
Is Cuzzo
Yeah.
coming to both?
Yeah. Y'all together. Y'all are a team. Cut and color. I got to put y'all both on. So yeah, we're producing that show, and Elevate Hair is going to do the after party as well. So that's happening March 6th in Houston and April 10th in Nashville. You can check out Naomi and Renee live on stage, and maybe do a little dancing later at the after party. So that wraps up Double Tap for this week. Thank you so much, our content contributor for Elevate Texture, Miss Renée Gadar. Always great seeing you. Hope to see you in real life and give you a real hug soon.
Very soon. Thank you for having me, Tat.
Anytime.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. Well, that's it for our show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see us in real life, we have 3 Elevate Hair shows coming up: January 16th in New Orleans, March 6th in Houston, and April 10th in Nashville. And March 6th in Houston and April 10th, we're also working with Neil Corporation doing a really cool hair show called Next Fest. It's like if a rock festival, techno festival, and a hair show kind of like made a crazy weird baby, that's Next Fest, and it's going to be awesome. So definitely check that out. Next Fest and Elevate Hair coming at you live in person. Hope